Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Performance Reps Northwest 2021 webinar series. We're excited for today's webinar, Barbecuing with Convotherm Combi Ovens and Hormel Foods. To get started, I would like to introduce our speakers today. We have Patrick Simon, the Corporate Regional Chef for Well Built with Convotherm and Mary Chef. And we have Zach Robinson, with Account Manager with Hormel Foods. All right, Chef Patrick, so 'tis the season. Summer is just around the corner. Everybody loves to barbecue. Let's talk about how Convotherm Combi ovens can help with that.
Great question, and folks, thank you very much for joining us in this webinar. I hope you find it as interesting as we presented to you. So the question was, what Janella just said is, how can a Convotherm Combi oven help you to be able to do right now? We're right around the corner from our 4th of July weekend. And what do we want to do? We want to barbecue, we want to roast, we want to air fry, we want to do those things. We want to have some really nice foods, okay, to be able to prepare. What if we took this Convotherm Combi oven and I told you that it could do everything that you want it to do, from roasting to overnight cooking to sous vide to air frying to smoking to grilling? Yes, folks, we can grill inside the Convotherm Combi oven with accessories like this. Our Convotherm grill plate. We can also roast chickens utilizing a roasting rack. We can air fry your French fries, all of the items you'd like to have crispy, tater tots, all the things that we'd like to have as accompaniments and side dishes inside of our fry basket right here. So with that, we're going to prepare for you today some really nice products utilizing Hormel's new items that just came out, a few of them, and then a few classics that they've had in their repertoire for a very, very long time. So with that being said, why don't you talk a little bit, Zach, about the products that we're going to feature today?
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Chef. So, folks, thanks again for joining us this morning. Like Chef said, we have some new products to show you, as well as standbys that have worked countless times over the past few years. Just as a general overview, all the products we're going to be showing you today are part of our prepared proteins. So what does that mean? It means that proteins are already perfectly cooked. Meaning you don't have to worry about time and labor in the back of house, making sure that it's raw or overcooked. We want it to be something that's scratch quality, indistinguishable from something that you would prep in the back of house. So we're pairing some of our classic pre-prepared proteins with our Convotherm oven, and I think we're going to have some great results today. The very first application that Chef is preparing for you off to the side is a barbecue chicken and pearl sugar waffle sandwich. I will let Chef talk about the actual ingredients in there, but I want to talk exclusively about the protein that we're showcasing. The first one is our fire braised chicken thighs. So in the Hormel fire braised line, all that we're doing with our proteins is flame searing it and then sending it through a sous vide process. All of those two things, we're not seasoning it, we're leaving that to you, the customer, to do in your own back of house. Make it unique to your establishment. Once we go through that sous vide process, once it's been flame seared and then sous vide, we're not reopening that bag until it gets to you, meaning that it's going to be incredibly tender, juicy, and easy to use, almost foolproof, I would say, in the back of your kitchen. And again, we want this to be indistinguishable from something you or your cooks would prepare in-house. And since that we're not seasoning it, we're not adding sauces to it at the plant, we're leaving that at your discretion. That means that you have unlimited versatility. You can add your own sauces, your rubs, seasonings, whatever you like to make it your own and make it unique to yourself. Chef, how are we doing over here?
We're doing really well.
Great.
So the item that I prepared for you today, utilizing the Hormel product, is exactly what Zach had talked to and spoken to about those chicken thighs. Great item, sous vide, ready to go. We have a barbecue chicken waffle sandwich. Chicken and waffles is a staple, not only down south, but also throughout the United States. It's become extremely popular. So we utilize a Avita pearl sugar waffle, okay, to go along with the barbecue chicken. We paired it with some sweet potato fries. Now the sweet potato fries we cooked utilizing our Convotherm Combi oven and utilize the crisp and tasty feature. So it's basically like frying without the oil. So this particular item right here, okay, as you can see, it took me a few minutes to be able to plate. It literally took me 15 minutes to be able to warm up the chicken inside the Convotherm Combi oven. And we have this great chicken and waffle sandwich with crisp and tasty sweet potato fries and just a light garnish. So how fast, how easy, and how consistent, okay, of a product can you get with a product that Zach has from Hormel? It's never going to change, folks. So the same thing with the Convotherm Combi oven. This is going to be able to really not only speed up the cooking process for you, but also too, with our advanced closed system, it's extremely energy efficient. So what does that mean to you is we're harnessing all of the energy inside the oven cavity. We're not allowing it to get out. So it's going to do a couple different things for you. You're going to get higher yields out of your proteins, okay, even if they're sous vide prepared already. Second, okay, you're going to be able to cook your items faster. So for the folks that want to cook something quickly, you're going to be able to do that, but you're also going to be able to do a cook and hold. You're also going to be able to do some overnight cooking. You can do sous vide inside the oven as well too, but if you're getting a product like Hormel has already produced it, they've already taken the sous vide process out of it for you. So really, there's nothing for you to do except for add your own signature sauce and be able to present it to your guests. So with that, we have here our advanced closed system that's here, 2-stage door handle. Turn it to the right. We have a steam or hot air release so we don't burn ourselves. Turn it to the left, open the door, and how phenomenal is this, guys? Okay, this is our disappearing door. So now we have more room to work. So Zach and I, we can work together, okay, side by side without worrying about burning ourselves by bumping into the side of the door. And also, too, being able to do a mixed load, having multiple products, okay, at the same time with no cross transfer in flavor. Let me repeat that, no cross transfer in flavor, because the way that we have our advanced closed system and the way that we're actually aerating the inside of that cavity of the oven. So with that being said, we have here is our easy touch control panel. So if you can operate an iPhone or a Samsung smartphone, whatever you have, if you can push a key, you'll be able to prepare anything from steaming to combi to convection. And if we have a smoker feature, if you want to move forward with an option of having a smoker feature, you can then smoke inside the oven as well too. So typically, a lot of our pit masters and stuff like that out there, they want to smoke for 14 hours, 12 hours. Since the advanced closed system is working, literally we can get a great smoke, have a real nice smoke ring on the outside of our product, okay, in 4 hours or less. So with that, let's roll right in to the next item. And Zach's going to talk a little bit about the next product that you're going to be able to try today.
Absolutely. So kind of staying on that summery trend, something that helps you in the back of house, we're going to talk about another fire braised item, moving away from poultry and into pork, something that Hormel excels at. This is our fire braised pulled pork, and today Chef is going to be putting it into some street tacos. So as he's prepping that, I'll talk a little bit more about it. Similar to the chicken thigh, all we're doing in this product is flame searing it and then sous videing it, except this time we're even taking another step out of that labor process for you, helping you again in the back of house. So what we're doing is we're flame searing those pork butts or pork shoulders, pulling them apart, not into a super fine shred, but still enough for you to work with, and then packaging that up and sending it to you. What we're shooting for is about 12-pound cases, maybe going into 14. It's a little bit variable. But with this product, you're not getting a smoked pulled pork, but rather one that's neutral in flavor base. So why is that important? Oftentimes you'll see a smoked pulled pork on the menu, but with a neutral flavor-based pulled pork, now you're able to put it in these street tacos that the chef is preparing. maybe on top of a salad into a wrap. And even something that I'm doing this week is creating a stir fry with it. So a lot more possibilities even outside of a traditional smoked pulled pork with this fire braised item. Like I said, it is going to save you big time on labor. Chef walked us through the process that he cooked it in the oven behind us. And now I'll let him talk about the actual plate presentation he's prepared for us.
So folks, what we have here is our pulled pork barbecue street tacos with a little bit of cilantro, pico de gallo, some diced white onions, a nice fire roasted salsa, some chips. But as far as cook times on this, literally from out of the package cold till the time that you can serve it to your guests inside the Convotherm Combi oven on Combi mode, 15 minutes to be able to prepare this item. So how easy would it be for your staff and consistent of a product to be able to get, okay, if you move forward with something like this? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting hungry just looking at the plate. So I know Zach's been eyeing the tacos all morning. So with that, those are some of the things that you can do, switching from different, okay, modes, from steam to combi, to convection, to crisp and tasty, to our Bake Pro mode, doing a lot of baking, things like that. There's a lot of different things that you can do, the roasting, the smoking, the cook and hold, which is extremely important because that's, you know, half the battle right there is after I cook the product, where can I put it, okay, before I have to serve it to my guests. So with that being said, Janelle, do we have any questions from the audience so far?
Yeah, Chef, so I want to ask you, you talked a little bit earlier about the ACS, or the Advanced Closed System.
Yes.
What's a good analogy to help everybody understand exactly how that works, because it's unique to Convotherm?
It is, and it's a great question. Whoever asked it, thank you very much for asking. So what is the Advanced Closed System? Think about this at home, okay? We're trying to cook pasta at home. We get a pot of boiling water on the stove, okay? We put the water on the stove. We want the water to boil faster, not just stare at it and hopefully it boils faster. But we actually, just like an advanced closed system, we put a lid on the top of the pot or the inside cavity of the oven. We covered it so that all of the energy stays within the cavity of the oven. So that means, like I said earlier, when we just started talking about that, is a couple different things. One, okay, that you're going to get better yields out of your protein. So if you're doing any type of roasting, or if you're doing any type of overnight cooking or sous videing, those things, you're going to get a higher yield. So typically in like a pork butt type scenario, okay, and Hormel has raw product that you're able to get as well too if you don't want a value added type product. They have that available. Typically your loss is going to be about 30%, okay? So now with the oven, with the advanced closed system, we're keeping the energy inside, locking in the juices and the moisture inside the product. So now we're going to cut that down to 15 to 18%, okay? And also we're going to use less energy to be able to prepare the product. So typically, if I did an overnight cook on, let's just say, a full oven full of pork butts, you know, I typically want to cook that for at least 4 to 5 hours, where now with the Convotherm Combi oven, since we have that advanced closed system, it's now going to take me about 3.5 hours. So I'm going to save time, I'm going to save utilities and energy, but also too, I'm going to get a much better finished product once I pull those items out of the oven. So I hope that that answered the question.
Yeah, it definitely did. I think next question, you mentioned mixed load and no flavor transfer. So how exactly is that work?
So what we do is we actually bring in air from the outside of the oven, okay, which is obviously colder than hopefully the inside of the oven. And what happens is all those aromas, all those flavors and all that stuff, okay, actually will come together and go and hit that colder spot or the coldest spot of the oven. We'll actually pull those flavors out, those aromas out, so that they're not kind of blending together on the different products that are in here. and we'll have a water collector box on the bottom of the oven. So all those aromas, all those things that we're trying to keep separate from our products, we're now collecting out. So you can cook a grilled cheese, bacon, you can do all of the Hormel products, which I did today is I cooked all of the items simultaneously with no cross transfer in flavor. So I did ribs, I did brisket, I did chicken, and I did pulled pork all at the same time with zero cross transfer in flavor. So that's how we do it. That's the magic.
That's the magic. We like the magic. Great. Let's another question. So you're talking about the pulled pork, and if you use the Hormel product, what did you say, Patrick? Chef Patrick, 15 minutes or so to get that pulled pork where you needed it to be. But let's say I am not using a Hormel product in this, and can I overnight roast? Can I prepare that the night before, and I can come in and it's ready to shred?
Absolutely. So look to Hormel to get all of your raw product needs as well too. So your ribs, your pork butts, all of those things, we can take those and overnight roast them and then have the oven. So we go away at the end of the night, the whole kitchen goes home, the oven's still working. So at the end, what we do is, I said in the morning, we have that cook and hold feature that I talked about a couple times already. We have a cook and hold feature. So we would have our hold temperature right now is 135 degrees. So what we would do is we would roast, okay? Then we would cook and hold. So once it's cooked, we would hold it because, and Janelle, we could just move over to the control panel. We have the ability to be able to do up to a 20-stage cooking profile. So we can program the oven that it'll have 20 stages where we can go and start off. Let's just say we're taking a pork butt, for example, and we're going to cook it on combi mode. We put it to combi mode, we can have it roast on combi, and then we can do a second stage where it'll actually hold the product. And you're like, well, I don't know if it should take 4 hours or 5 hours or however long it should take to cook. No problem. With our probe that we have right here, but we have a probe right here, so you can take the product, okay, put your probe inside of it. Once it gets to the desired temperature, in this case, 145 is our desired temperature for a pork butt. Put this inside our largest pork butt, okay? Once it gets to 145 degrees, then we can tell the oven to actually hold the product now at 135 degrees for us. So in the morning when the staff comes in, all they have to do is just pull the pork butts out and then let them cool down, and then they can shred them. They can add some barbecue sauce to them, whatever they like to do. But I can tell you this, it's a nice feature to have, and it's very easy to be able to do in a Convotherm Easy Touch C4. So with that, we're going to move into another item that Zach is going to go back and talk a little bit about. Hopefully we'll have a few more questions to kind of go through as well too while we're doing this. So Zach, you want to talk about our next product?
Absolutely. So folks, we're going to pivot away from the fire braised line and into one of our classic prepared protein lines, Austin Blues. So unlike the fire braised line where we're delivering a neutral base for you to work off in the back of house, what we're doing with Austin Blues is actually smoking that product at our smokehouses across the country. So now we're taking away that barbecue element from you, making sure that it's as consistent and high quality as possible. We know that barbecuing is very difficult, especially if it's your first foray into it. Or maybe you already do barbecue very well and you're just looking to add something else to the menu, whether it be a brisket or ribs, which is what we have to show you here today, or maybe something for a catering menu. This would be perfect for you. So the very first thing we have to show from the Austin Blues offerings is our Austin Blues beef brisket. Now, this is one of my favorite items that we have in the entire Hormel product portfolio. And why is that? It's because it's a high quality, super consistent beef brisket. And if you ask anybody who knows barbecue very well, brisket is one of the hardest things to nail every single time. So what we're doing is taking these big beef briskets, smoking them at our smokehouses down in Texas over real hardwood for hours upon hours, and then delivering that product to you with a perfect smoke ring every single time. Chef, what kind of application do we have built with that brisket here today?
So, Zach, thank you very much for the product. And I will tell you, I've used the Austin Blues brisket probably for the last 15 years of my career. And I will tell you, it's consistent, it's versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it because anybody can just slice brisket and put it on a plate with a slice of bread and, some things, some accompaniments. I want to do something a little bit different. So what we prepared for you today is, and I'm just going to turn this a little bit, a play on a slider. See if we can see that at home. A slider that I did. I took a little bit of white barbecue sauce, which is mayonnaise based. I added that to it. I took this wonderful Austin Blues brisket product. I added a little bit of Swiss cheese to it, put it on a King's Hawaiian roll, and I paired it with some Terra chips. So simple, fast, easy. From the time that I pulled the brisket out of the package to the time I put it inside the oven and pulled it out and it was hot and ready to go, it took me exactly 26 minutes from 38 degrees inside our cooler, okay, into the oven, and I was ready to go. So literally for speed of service, okay, if you wanted to, you could take this item, you could put it inside the Convotherm item and then have it ready to go for your lunch, for your dinner service. You'd be able to prepare in an hour or less, even with a full oven, to be able to prepare the product in. Or if you wanted, you could look to getting a raw product. And to Janelle's point, what we were talking about a little bit earlier, doing a cook and hold. But how about this? How about we do a cook, smoke, cook, hold? So we do a multiple stage or multiple step, okay, cooking profile that we pre-program into the oven up to, like I said, 20 steps or 20 stages that you can do, and then have that product pulled out and served to your guests with not having the loss that you typically associate with, a 25 to 30% on a brisket. Whereas this product, with this utilizing the Convotherm Combi oven, you have the ability to be able to have a less loss, maybe 10 to 15%. So higher yields, you're paying for the product. You might as well have as much usable product as you possibly can to be able to move forward with. So with that being said, Janelle, do we have any questions from the audience?
Let's talk a little bit about adding smoke or smoking your product in a Convotherm. What does that look like? Do I need to, is it something I can add the feature on in the field? Is it something I need to spec when I order the Combi?
Good question. So the smoke feature is an option. It's not an accessory. So to what Janelle just said, you're going to want to order, okay, the smoke feature when you place the order, and working with the folks at Performance Reps Northwest, let them help you with that. They're the industry experts. They understand the business. They understand what you can do and what you can't do. So the smoke feature utilizes not the messy wood chips that we normally associate with, cooking. We got to soak the wood chips, possibly soak them overnight or at least for a couple hours, put them inside this smoke box then, and it's typically located on the outside. Most manufacturers of combi ovens, they locate their smoke box on the outside of the oven. We put it inside the oven and we use Bradley pucks. So the Bradley pucks you can buy from your local dealer. Each one of those pucks you can put up to 8 inside the smoke box at one time. Each one burns for about 20 minutes, okay? But you can get any flavor you want, anything from cherry to hickory to apple. There's all the different Bradley pucks or biscuits, okay, that you can put inside. So it's not messy, it's easy. You pull it in and out of the oven, and you can incorporate the smoke feature from the beginning of the cooking process. But what I like to do is I like to roast the product, get a nice sear on the outside of the oven or outside of the product, and then, okay, move it into the smoke. So I get that beautiful smoke ring at the end, and then I cook and hold it because, like Janelle, you said earlier when we were talking, you said that roasting takes time, okay? So how much time do I have? Well, you don't have to have any time. At the end of the day, you do an overnight cook, you program the oven, okay, to the stages that you want. The folks, like I said, at PR&W can assist you with the programming, or you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help you as well too, to be able to program the oven. But it's just that easy, folks. So literally program, put the product inside the oven and walk away. And then the next morning, you're going to have a great product to be able to work with, just pulling out and going right into service, and or, okay, having it cool down and then put away for a later time. So with that being said, do we have any other questions, Sean?
I think one other quick question here for Zach. So you mentioned earlier with the pulled pork that was like a non-seasoned where you could season it yourself. What about with the Austin Blues product? Are those, do you have smoked products available already, or?
Yeah, so these products in the Austin Blues line, virtually all of them are going to be smoked. We do have some products that are also pre-sauced, but the vast majority either have a light rub or no rub at all, and then our hardwood smoke. So that is what you typically find in the Austin Blues line there from Hormel.
Okay, and I know you're showcasing the brisket, and then you're going to be showing ribs. Is there other products in the Austin Blues line?
Absolutely. So we also have a traditional pulled pork. So we showed you one today that has that neutral flavor profile from the fire braised line. However, we also have a smoked pulled pork, a smoked pulled chicken, other variants of our St. Louis ribs. We have one to show you here today. Even inside the brisket, we have the whole brisket, which Chef has sliced up expertly, but we have a pre-sliced one for you if you want to make sure that you're getting the quantities down correctly each and every time you serve. So we have pork, poultry, and beef available in the Austin Blues line, and you can ask your local Hormel rep which ones are stocked at your distributor if you are interested.
Great, thank you so much. What's next?
So perfect. So the next item up that we're going to have, I'm going to have Zach talk a little bit about it. I think this is kind of the piece de resistance. I think this is the money shot right here that most folks are looking for, especially the 4th of July weekend. So Zach, you want to talk a little bit about the product?
Absolutely. So to play on what Chef said and what Janelle said earlier, it is summertime. This is the time for barbecue. And what better way to finish a barbecue presentation than with smoked ribs? So that is what we have here to show you this morning. This is our Austin Blues smoked ribs, St. Louis cut, and why that's important and why it matters. There are two main ribs you'll find in the market: St. Louis cut and baby back. With the baby back, you kind of get that tapering at one end, so you have a large end and then a smaller end. So if you're cutting it up like most smokehouses are, into 6 ribs per piece, and then send it out for service. You're going to have one customer with some tinier ribs and one customer with larger ribs. With the St. Louis, you get a much more uniform rectangular shape, easy to handle in the back of house, but also more satisfying for your customers. It's going to be consistent in its shape when you do go out and serve it. These racks that you'll get in a case, they come 12 to a case. Like I said, they are already smoked over hardwood for you, cutting out that intensive labor process, making sure that it's consistent smoke every single time. These particular ribs are not seasoned, so you can add your own rubs, your own sauces to them. Like I said earlier, make them unique to your own establishment. That's what people are coming for, is your own unique blend of sauce. And I think Chef's got a brilliant kind of classic spin on our ribs here today. Chef, what do we have to show the folks here at home?
Well, I can tell you it is a pleasure to work with the Hormel product. And I can tell you for the consistency, and I'm just going to turn this so everybody can see this. When Zach talked a little bit about, okay, consistency in product, and almost every rib is virtually the same. So that when you're looking for that consistent plate and you're looking for that consistent cost when you're doing your food cost, okay, you want to know exactly how much of those ribs cost you. And with the St. Louis style rib that we have here for you, literally they're individually cryovac. You open up the cryovac seal. I put it inside the oven. I roast it a little bit with some real nice barbecue sauce, and then roast it at the same time. Okay, going back to that no cross transfer in flavor, I roasted the corn, baked beans, and our macaroni and cheese all at the same time. No cross transfer in flavor, but I was able to get a beautiful, consistent quality product that I could be proud to serve, okay? And what, I don't know if you were looking at what I had in the oven or not, Zach, but 6 bones is exactly what I would serve. So 6 ribs would be exactly what a chef or a restaurateur would typically serve to their guests. And we're able to have the consistency once again. Now, going back to everything we talked about at the beginning of the webinar, you now have the ability to be able to, if you wanted to do the Hormel raw ribs, no problem, okay? If you want to do your own roasting, if you want to overnight cook them, if you want to sous vide them, so be it. Go ahead and do that. And I talked about the sous vide feature multiple times as well too. With that, that is also, Janelle, if we had somebody that asked that, that is also an option. It's not an accessory. So an option with Convotherm is an item that you have to order while you're ordering your oven. So you'll want to order that sous vide probe, okay, to be able to do sous vide if you'd like. The same thing like our smoker as well. And we also have a complete grease management system. They're like, what is that? Well, you can actually have a grease, quote unquote, inceptor built into the oven. So it's going to separate the grease so it's not going down your drains. We have the ability to be able to do that. That is also an option. It's not an accessory. So getting back to what we talked about a little bit earlier, if you see right here in the front, okay, we have the grill plate, we have the fry basket, but we also have what's holding those items up is we have our roasting racks for chickens. So any supermarkets, grocery stores, stuff like that, that do rotisserie chicken, you can do rotisserie chicken without the rotisserie. And because of that advanced closed system, we have the ability to be able to harness in, okay, the energy inside, keeping the yields higher. So if you're going to buy a 3 1/4 pound bird, okay, and you're going to put it inside the oven and you're going to put multiple at the same time, okay, you want to have a big yield. So at 3 1/4 ounces raw, you're going to come up with a nice, plump, juicy 3 pound bird. So we would start that in our combi mode, and Janelle's going to switch over to our controller here. We'd start in our combi mode, and then we would switch it over to a unique feature that is unique to Convotherm. We switch to our convection mode. We have our crisp and tasty feature. So what we're going to do is we're going to crisp up that skin on the outside for maybe the last 10 minutes of the cooking process. So we use the combi because steam is the fastest way to be able to heat things up. We will utilize that steam to bring up the temperature, to cook it fast, to roast it, utilizing the convection mode and the combi of steam at the same time. But then at the end of the cooking process, the last 10 minutes, we want that skin nice and crispy. Okay, so we're going to switch it to our convection and crispy tasty mode so that we have the outside nice and golden brown and beautiful. So with that, any questions, Janelle?
Yeah, so a couple of questions for you. You talking about crisp and tasty. What exactly is that, and why would I want to use crisp and tasty?
Great question. I will tell you that you're going to always want to use crisp and tasty. Okay, anytime you're cooking any type of French fries, breaded products, chicken tenders, eggplant parmesan, you're wanting to prepare. Anything that you want to have crispy on the outside, fried chicken.
Tater tots?
Okay, tater tots. All those things, anything that we want to have nice and crispy on the outside, but moist and tender on the inside. So we're going to crisp up the outside of it. And so what we're doing with crisp and tasty is we're actually dehumidifying the cavity of the oven. So we're drawing out all the moisture. So we're pulling in, once again, cold air, okay, into the cavity of the oven. That moisture is attracting itself, okay, to that cold air. It's collecting and being flushed out into the cavity, into the collector box on the bottom of the oven. So now, okay, when I dehumidify the cavity of the oven, okay, and the schools that are out there and healthcare and all the folks that are trying to stay away from fryers, okay, you can use a quote unquote air fryer, okay, inside the Convotherm Combi. And when I were talking about that, if you have like a fully cooked Tyson chicken product, okay, like a fried chicken product, from frozen, put inside the oven, 22 minutes without one drop of oil. So think about the oil savings, think about the time that it takes to be able to prepare. And really, everybody's getting a little bit older. We're all thinking about our health. Think about the health implications, okay, of not deep frying a product or cooking a product in oil, cooking it in air, and then just keeping that product, the outside nice and crispy and the inside moist and tender.
So it's almost like an air fryer.
It is like a giant air fryer that we could use in a commercial setting.
Okay, great. And you mentioned schools. And are there any special packages for schools with Convotherm K through 12?
There is, absolutely there is. So we have built not only a full cookbook, okay, over 200 cooking profiles specifically tailored to schools, CN labeled product that you could cook inside the Convotherm Combi. We've tied in accessories like you see here in the front here that you get some of the baskets, okay, some of the other accessories in there. You get an automatic 2-stage door handle to be able to use like we had here. And your not only disappearing door, but anti-slam door feature. So that even if somebody slams it or bumps into it hard or whatever, you're not gonna hurt the door. 2-pane glass in the inside, so you'll be able to clean behind it, but also too, okay, be able to lock in a little bit more of those flavors and moisture inside the cavity. But accessory package to go along with the ovens. And then you can also, this is our 620 model, but you can stack these as well too. So we have stacking packages that are available. So not everything really that a school would need at a great price.
Yeah, the K through 12 school packages are great. They provide the disappearing door as, which is not a standard option, correct? The disappearing door, if I have a customer that wants that, they would need to order specifically disappearing.
That's correct. That it would be an option, just like the sous vide probe, just like the grease management system, and just like our smoke feature.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And the K through 12 package includes the disappearing door.
It does.
And you mentioned a little bit about the model. This is a 620. So what other options do I have available in Convotherm?
So with Convotherm, it's great. It's really tailored to your needs. So we have 7 different sizes, 56 different models to be able to choose from. We have gas and electric. We have boiler and spritzer. So what's a spritzer? It's without a boiler. So if you're not wanting to occasionally have to flush or clean the boiler or clean it out, a lot of hotels, a lot of K through 12, they like the feature not having to have somebody clean out the boiler from time to time. So the spritzer is actually spritzing water onto a hot plate, producing steam. So you have the ability to be able to get that. I will tell you this nice feature, okay, anybody that's interested, okay, in an electric model, all 7 different models that are available in electric, including our full-size 2020 models, are all UL rated ventless. So what does that mean? I don't need a hood. So to be able to operate it. Now, if you have a smoker that's built into a tabletop model, then yeah, obviously you're going to want to have, a hood, but without having to have the ability to be able to take this item, especially in a tabletop model, and not have to have a hood, how fantastic is that? And not including those 7 different sizes, we also have available our minis. So if you want a little mini tabletop unit, you have the ability to be able to get that as well too. So those work great for cafes and coffee shops and stuff like that want to do, fresh break croissants, muffins, things like that. Same technology, same great oven, but just in a mini version. So.
Great. Well, I think we have a few more minutes, so kind of just a couple more questions, and then we can kind of wrap everything up today.
Sounds good.
So, Zach.
Yes.
With your products, you were talking a little bit about the Austin Blues, and then you've been talking about the Fire Braised. What other products are available in the Fire Braised? We looked at the pulled pork earlier and the chicken thigh.
Sure. So we actually have a few different products similar to Austin Blues that span all of our protein categories. So we have poultry, beef, and pork as well. So outside of just the chicken thigh and pulled pork, you'll also find a Fire Braised chicken breast possibly a St. Louis rib too. So similar to the sous vide process like we could do for raw, we're bringing that to you already. Think also beef short rib. Just really anything that you're looking for, we might have that already done in a fire braised format. Again, cutting up the labor for you.
Great. And where can I find the products that are being shown today?
Great question. Any food service distributor will probably be carrying some variants of both of these lines. Again, getting in touch with your Hormel rep will probably be the best source for more information about it. So wherever you're at, make sure to get in touch with your distributor rep and ask for your Hormel rep specifically. They will be the ones to give you more information on what's available for you locally.
Great. I think Chef Patrick's going to kind of show us a picture here of how the products look before they're sliced and diced.
I love it.
Yeah, so you can see, folks, I had, okay, all the items cooking simultaneously, no cross transfer in flavor. I took half the rack of ribs. I took this beautiful brisket, okay, that I hope I did it justice.
You did. You definitely did.
So we have the brisket, and then we also have the fire braised chicken thighs that I added a little bit of a barbecue glaze to and prepared those. So you could see all three products I put on the same sheet pan, cooked at the same time, okay, and they came out beautifully. The flavor profile is fantastic, okay. You could see that you're thinking about, you know, what Zach was talking a little bit about, the product as far as the yields. So you're not paying for, okay, you're not paying for the loss. You're just paying for straight product. So there's no loss in any of these products, the brisket, the ribs, or the chicken for that matter. All of these items, okay, you're paying for true weight. So when you're doing your food costs, when the chefs are doing their food costs, or the kitchen manager, or, you know, even in a hospital setting, you have the ability to be able to really know exactly what your food costs, every one of those ribs, what it's going to cost you, how much the chicken is going to cost you, and then the brisket as well too. So when you're buying, you know, a 12-pound case, if that's what the average is, you're paying for true weight, true product. So when you're looking at your yields and your food costs, it's going to be consistent year-round across the board, where we have the pork market or the beef market fluctuating, or even the poultry market for that matter, fluctuating throughout the year, the price points. Okay, this is going to be pretty much consistent across the board. Would you say that, Zach? Would you say the same thing?
Absolutely say the exact same thing. That is an excellent point, Chef. I know we talked about just the ease of the cooking earlier with each of these products, or smoking if it's Austin Blues, but we're also taking out that aspect of trimming off the gristle or fat, making sure it's as lean as possible, delivering the best possible product to both you and your customer. Since we're also taking out that cooking and smoking component, like you said, this is all 100% usable product. So what you're paying for is exactly what's going to end up on your customer's plate. Great point.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Well, and it sounds like with both Hormel products and Convotherm Combi ovens, labor savings are huge, right?
And it's a match made in heaven.
I think so. I think we've proved that here today. Yes, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you both for your time today and for showcasing all of this great product. I apologize to all of you on the line that you're not able to enjoy the food, but it will not go to waste. We're going to have a nice lunch this afternoon. So I want to say thank you again to everybody. Thank you to Chef Patrick and Zach. Contact information. Thank you so much for joining us today. As we mentioned, this will be recorded and posted to our YouTube channel. We suggest that you follow us on our YouTube channel. Questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of the Performance Reps Northwest team members. And questions about Hormel, feel free to reach out to Zach. His email and phone number are on the slide as well. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great day.